Unfortunately, after ko makapasa ng NCLEX, retrogression. So, I didn't have any choice. Work-wise, Singapore is really bad for work for nurses. Mabigat ang trabaho ng nurses sa Singapore. So, yes, it's nice, may pera, may ganon, pero nakakapagod.
What are you going to advise to those nurses who are actually waiting for their visa and it's the retrogression? If I'm going to ask you, ano yung kinatatakutan mo?
Honestly, ang dami.
Welcome to Linguist Access Podcast, where we all get together to learn more about inspiring stories behind every journey that will give you the courage to push past challenges and overcome obstacles, all for God's glory, with your host, Shalini Oritaves.
Hi everyone, welcome to Linguist Access Podcast. My name is Sha. Today I am so happy to introduce to you our guest. He is Nurse Juan, OFW, content creator just like me. But of course, what I'm really happy about is that he's talking about his content is more on the transition, helping new nurses transition their lives here in the United States of America. He's also concerned on telling us, educating us about the do's and don'ts of living in the US and a whole lot more. He has worked in the Philippines, Singapore, and now in the United States, particularly in Kentucky. He is a Lifora admin. And of course, today we'll be talking about his journey in the United States of America, the ups and downs, and a whole lot more. Welcome to the show, Nurse Juan.
Hi, thank you for having me, Shalini.
Yeah, hi. I'm so happy that you really gave me the opportunity to, discuss, talk about life in general. So we'll start with, why did you choose United States of America among all? Because you've been in Singapore, and Singapore is such a beautiful country. So why did you have to choose? Because I think a lot of them are going to New Zealand. Because I had students before, and a number of them really, their direction is New Zealand. Why you headed here in United States of America?
For me, ever since naman, after nursing, US talaga aim ko. Yun talaga dream. Forever nursing. Unfortunately, after ko makapasa ng NCLEX, retrogression. So, I didn't have any choice. Graduate po ako ng 2007. Then, I really tried to mag-catch up ko na experience, pero wala talaga. So, it wasn't on my cards talaga. Singapore. Yes, Singapore is a nice place po talaga to live and to yung safety and everything, ang linis. Para siyang BGC na mas maganda. Or, I think, almost same like BGC, parang ganun, without traffic. So, yun ang best thing doon. The problem with Singapore, number one, is if you're planning to create a family, magkaroon ka ng asawa, magkaroon mag-anak, ganun, hindi mo pwedeng iwan yung anak doon sa Singapore with our pass. Okay? Dominantly sa amin mga Pilipino. So, you can't. So, that's number one reason talaga kung bakit kailangan ko umalis doon. Okay? So, yun. If I wanted to start a family, syempre, kung nabuntis si Mrs., gusto ko kasama yung anak namin while during the special moment or years, diba? So, that's really the number one problema sa Singapore. Pwede ka nilang bigyan ng pass, pero most of us either have a working permit, tapos mga registered nurses is S-pass type. Yung pwede lang magkaroon ng anak doon and magstay doon yung anak nila pamilya is E-pass. But in order for you to get E-pass, it will take years to get. And yung mga kasama ko sa floor namin mismo, 10-15 years na sila nag-apply. Sad to say, hindi pa sila na-approve. So, it's like, ako nasa dulo ako ng pila. Nasa 3 to 4 years pa lang ako nun. So, definitely, ayaw ko. Yeah. So, yun ang main. Number 2 naman is yung work. Work-wise, Singapore is really bad for work for nurses. Mabigat ang trabaho ng nurses sa Singapore. So, yes, it's nice. May pera, may ganon. Pero, nakakapagod. Schedule pa lang, sometimes you can work 6 days straight, mandatory. Okay, yes, ganun po. Yes, ganun pa yung schedule niya. Pero sinasabi nila 7 hours lang naman yung wino-work mo per day. Pero ganun pa rin eh. Mag-stay over ka pa, kompleto yung documents, mga ganun. So, nakakapagod pa rin. And honestly, for me, working those short period of hours, tapos yung pareho number of patients, ibig sabihin, mas itatry mo i-cram lahat ng workload mo. So, yung time na yung charting natin, minsan may mga dead time tayo, ganun eh. So, during sa time sa Singapore sa akin, parang halos wala. So, stressful talaga. Super payat kami doon sa Singapore. Tapos yung sweldo is nice. Okay lang, competitive ang sweldo, pero not really enough. Parang, not that much. Kaya parang para sa'yo, para sa work na binibigay mo, dapat mas mataas yung sweldo mo. Then, another thing with regards to sweldo is, depende sa lahi yung sweldo mo. It matters. Okay. So, there's one point wherein may tinitrain akong bago from Malaysia. Malaysia is connected to Singapore or Singapore was part of Malaysia before. One time, pinakita niya sa akin payslip. Nagulat ako. Mas mataas yung sahod niya kaysa sahod ko. So, ako nag-train sa'yo, tapos nadalang sweldo ko. Tapos sabi ng mga kasama ko na Indian friends naman na halos kabatch ko, buti nga, ikaw ganyan pa, mas mataas pa sweldo, mas malayo yung sweldo namin. So, ganun. May ranking. So, maliban sa experience, yung race mo sometimes matters din eh. So, if local ka, sobrang laki ng sweldo ng local versus sa'yo. So, in a way, may pagka-discrimination, in a way. So, that's one thing I didn't like talaga doon. And yung doktor, ganun din pagtrato sa'yo. Parang Pilipinas, na pagalit-galit. And since you're on a S-Pass, so if tanggalin ka ng trabaho, mawala ka ng trabaho, uwi ka agad sa Pilipinas. So you don't have like job stability talaga. So that's one of the main reasons why kami umalis sa Singapore. New Zealand naman. Yes, there's a lot of people going to New Zealand. Sa time ko, hindi pa masyado eh. Tapos medyo mas mahirap pa ng konti yung route. But now it's easier. So, a lot of my friends po, doon talaga pumunta. And it looks nice. It looks place like maganda yung pang-family oriented yung place na yon. And some of my head nurses, masaya sila doon. So, yeah, if you guys wanna go to New Zealand, go. Halos pareho lang naman yan anywhere eh. Depends. It's hard to convert like sweldo versus lifestyle kasi minsan iba-iba eh. So, that's one thing. So, for me lang kasi, during sa time na yon nasa cards ko na talaga yung US, yung na-lift yung retrogression, apply na, nag-process na.
So, how long did you have to wait for that?
10 years. 10 years kasi I took my NCLEX 2009. So, 2009, nakarating ako dito 2019. So, 10 years talaga. So, at one point, give up ko na yung US dream kasi nga, feeling ko parang wala na to. Pero nung nasa Singapore na ako, sobrang pagod na ako. Isa sa mga barkado ko before, nag-offer na, try mo tong agency na to. So ako naman, go lang. Without researching, without anything. That's one of the biggest mistake I did, sort of. Kasi pumatol ako sa staffing agency, given sa condition na yon. So that's where yung struggle ko coming to the United States. Maganda, okay naman nakarating ako dito, pero yung starting point as a staffing agency is not the best. And given na my experience ako, I think I have like 10 years experience before coming here sa US. So I should have qualified easily sa mga direct hire and could have gotten a better job opportunities then. So
I mean, you're really commendable at that time, but because you settle for whoever is available, willing to help you, move here. I think ganun halos yung problem. Kaya for those of you out there, take the advice from him. You really have to at least scrutinize pa kung sino ba talaga ang, worthy of you. Now, what was your greatest challenge coming here? You talk about, I had to wait 10 years. What else? Like skill-wise?
Skill-wise, honestly for me, yung place ko sa Singapore, mataas ang standard ng work sa Singapore for nurses. Maganda ang quality doon. Nung pumunta ako dito, I would say it was a step down kasi kulang-kulang ng gamit. Hindi ko in-expect na akala ko mala Grey's Anatomy. Akala ko ganun yung makikita ko. Hindi. Para siyang public hospital in a way. Pero may gamit naman, pero hindi ganun ka ano. So, hindi siya mayamang hospital na pinuntahan ko. So, for those expecting po, hindi ganun lahat ng hospital dito na mala Grey's Anatomy. Okay? So, so yun.
Ikaw pa nag-downgrade.
Ako downgrade.
Yeah, I know. Now, right now, in your status of life, with all the experiences you had, I just want to ask you, ano ang success para sa'yo?
Okay. Like you said, tinatanong mo sa akin yung specific success. Kasi nga, for a lot of people, we have different meaning of success talaga. Depende talaga sa age mo. For me, before, success was just having a car coming to the United States. Yun lang yung success ko before. Pero as time passed by, mas iba na yung goal ko eh. So, I feel like hindi pa ako successful. I feel like I'm contented on where ako ngayon. Okay ako, meron akong proper work, meron akong pera. Hindi ako tulad before na nagdadalawang isip ka na mag-budget. Kung kakain ka sa labas, inisip mo na, ay, kulang na budget ko for this week. So, wala na akong ganun. So, I can just like buy. Pero, hindi rin ako maluwang tao eh. So, I don't buy like super expensive things. Meron akong bahay ngayon dito, nakabili na ako ng bahay. It's not the ideal house na super laki ng ganun, pero it is a house. And it's a financial decision kung bakit kami bumili ng house na to. So, for me, to be successful more is magkaroon ako ng passive income. Yun talagang aim ko. I really wanna have a way to get that settled. So, we are starting. We're trying to do like apartments. Ganun, may nabili na kami apartment. Kasosyo ko ibang kasama. So, we're just parang stepping stone muna, dahan-dahan. So, that's the route that we're doing. And kasama ko before, sa California, ganun din siya. Nakabili na siya ng apartment, may Airbnb. Tapos ngayon, meron pa silang isang unit na ganun din project. So,
Real
that's kind of the lifestyle I would like to have na hindi ako mag-work as nurse. So, yun. Nakakapagod magtrabaho as nurse. Though hindi masyadong nakakapagod dito. Pero, alam mo yan, minsan gusto mo mag-break sa nursing and out of there for maybe temporary. So, ganun. So, yeah.
Yeah, okay. So, you said you don't consider yourself successful until na may passive income ka na you know, you don't, it's a choice already if I'm gonna work as a nurse today or not. It's my call. Parang dapat narating mo yung point na yon, right? So, right now, would you say that you are, well, you say you are almost there, or ang dami pang dapat pang ma-experience, dapat gawin para, you know, I know this is also part of yung mga tao, kasi our audience is not only for those who are outside of the Philippines, I mean outside of the US, but also even the people who are here. And they also ask me some, you know, frequent questions about it. Like, ano ba talaga yung barometer ng pagiging successful? And I like it that you said that na dapat may passive income ka. Now, my question is, should you also ba invest in the Philippines, considering na, you know, mas mura yung real estate doon? Kasi I see it na parang gusto mo passive income and all. And real estate talaga yung, estate talaga yung parang in mind right now. But would you also consider investing or putting some of your money in the Philippines?
For me, it really depends talaga sa situation nyo kung kaya nyong i-manage yung property or like ganong investment sa Pilipinas. Yes, it is a wise decision po sa mga property value, mga ganon. For me, it's a good thing. Pero kung hindi mo naman ma-manage, so medyo mahirap din. So that's one thing. It's the same here naman kasi sa US. Ganon din, mabenta rin yung mga properties dito, like for rent. And Philippines, alam ko, oo, pero medyo overcrowded na rin eh. Yun ang medyong problema ko. Kasi my brother, he did buy some property dyan sa my BGC. So, it is working. It's really nice for him. Pero yun nga, sabi niya, minsan mahirap kasi may mga times na saturated din yung sa market for properties. Pero, kahit ganun pa man, you bought a land, and yung mga land naman kasi most likely increase ng value in time. So, most likely hindi ka malulugi doon. I think lang, I'm in the midst of processing for citizenship. So, hindi ko pa talaga sure kung paano yung everything like yung tax and ano ba yung liability ko bilang isang US citizen, tapos may property ako sa Pilipinas. So, I'm still working on that. Someone told me that I have to be a dual citizen. So, I don't know. Wala pa akong masyadong update dyan, so I can't comment much pa sa ngayon.
Yeah, and I think right now it's like solely in the US, not in the Philippines. So ngayon talaga it's more on your transitioning, your property wise, passive income wise sa US talaga muna. Okay, now at this point of time, I want to ask this a bit of medyo yung siguro sabihin natin out of this world na question, but I mean, with all the things that are happening right now, you yourself, what are you going to advise to those nurses who are actually waiting for their visa and it's the retrogression? They're saying 5 years, 10 years, nobody can really tell. So what is your piece of advice to them?
Okay. So, for those waiting for retrogression, I created a video last week, I think, mga advice ko doon. But to sum it up po, for me, kung medyo malayo pa kayo sa pila, try to work somewhere else. Okay? That's the best idea. Work outside of the Philippines if you could. Syempre, nandun yung pera. Mas maganda yung working conditions in a way versus sa Pilipinas kasi medyo may sweldo pa. And you can always do your visa processing naman sa whichever country you're going to. Most of them. Okay, like for me, sa Singapore ako, nung ginawa ko yung paperworks ko, yung agency ko nasa Manila. So, all my paperworks po is sinisend ko lang. Ina-apply ko lang, upload ko lang online, or minsan sinisend sa kanila. So, ganun. So, you can do it there. And yung visa interview naman, you can have those things on whichever country you're working at. So, that's one good thing po. So, it's really up to you po kung paano yung situation nyo. Don't think there's like a one kind of answer po. It depends po from person to person. Okay? So, assess yourself, assess your situation. Tingnan nyo kung nasan kayo sa timeline and paano ba yung needs nyo. Kung may backup plan na ba kayo. If you need experience naman sa Pilipinas, you can po. You can work din sa mga call center, ganun. So, yeah. So, try to check yourselves and see which category would fit best for your route coming to the US. Yeah.
Nurse One, what is your greatest fear? Like, is it for your family, for your job? What is your greatest fear? Ito yung mga, minsan, akala kasi ng tao pag nasa Amerika ka na, you're invincible. Right now, if I'm going to ask you, ano yung pinaka kinatatakutan mo?
Honestly, ang dami eh. Of course, yung safety ng family ko dito, kahit naman saan talaga yung family is, alam mo yung fragile talaga. Life is really fragile. One point, pwede ka lang masagasaan, pwede maano. So, those are my greatest fear talaga is mawalan ng loved ones. Like my wife ko, yung tatay ko, brothers ko, mga ganon. But if you're talking about yung life ko dito is, financially, I think natatakot lang ako if meron mangyari sa akin ng aksidente, malumpo ako, ma-stroke ako, ganon. So, that's one thing po na medyo, at the back of your mind, you're worried about that. So, and also like the gun violence, hindi naman sikreto to na sa US, medyo magulo yung gun violence. So, pag malas-malas lang, na abutan ka ng yung mga gun shooters, diba? So, I know it's not that bad, okay? Sa mga nanood, hindi masyadong bad. Very rare. Pero it can happen. So, yun lang. But I feel like Philippines has more chances of having that versus dito. For me lang, nakailang hold up na ako.
Ako din.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was in Manila for siguro 4 or 5 years ako sa Manila ha. Siguro natutukan ako ng baril mga 4 or 5 times. So dito sa US wala pa akong natutukan ng baril. Kung meron man ako nagtutok ng baril gamit yung mga pang-practice mga gano'n. So
yeah, kasi I have to ask that question kasi isa din yan sa mga concern talaga ng papunta dito. Like everyone is asking, nag-private message, gaano ba ka-dangerous dyan sa US? So, hindi ba nakakatakot? Yun talaga, yung takot na takot sila. They have that thinking na para anytime babagilin ka, ganyan. So, ako, personally, wala naman. So far, wala naman ako naging concern. Although may mga threats sa school ng mga anak ko. And i-share ko to sa'yo. May friend ako na yung anak niya is innocent as she was. Pumunta siya ng school, tapos pagpunta niya ng school ay sanay kasi siya sa Philippines, bago lang sila, nagdala siya ng mangga, tapos pag yung parang recess time nila, kinuha niya yung mangga, tapos kinuha niya yung kutsilyo, at saka nagbalat-balat siya ng mangga. And then the teacher said, "Oh my goodness, you just brought a weapon on you." Sabi niya, "I have to call the police." So shock masyado yung, isa yung kulturan natin na magkaiba.
Oh.
And then parang na-shock yung bata, tatawag na ng police, tatawag na yung parents niya. Tapos sabi niya, why did you bring that? Blah, blah, blah. And then she just said, "I just want to eat freshly cut mango."
Yeah.
Yun naman, diba? So, parang, yun lang yung if ever. Kasi talagang praning sila dito when it comes to weapon. So, ngayon, what piece of actionable advice you want our audience to know about as we close?
For those who wants to come to the United States, gusto nyo ngayon na or baka later in the future, the best thing you can do po is kunin nyo na yung NCLEX. Okay? That's the best thing I can tell you. Get your NCLEX as soon as pag-graduate nyo pa lang kung kaya. After ng PNLE nyo, kunin nyo agad yung NCLEX. Okay? Kasi fresh pa yung mind nyo, mag-aral and everything. That would really help. Okay? Kung hindi man nyo magamit yan, coming to the United States, you can use that po sa Pilipinas. As like call center, you can get sweldo na super high. Nakakaingit yung mga ganun before sa time ko. Sweldo ko is, head nurse ako before, 20,000 lang yung sweldo ko. Yung mga kasama ko na may, may NCLEX na with card, they were earning like 85,000 pesos. I was like, oh my God. Alam mo yun? So, you can earn that there po sa mga call center, ganun. So, and also, it's also nice din po talaga mag-work sa call center. For me lang it's really fun. So, and the money is so good if you're back in the Philippines.
Yeah.
So, take your NCLEX as soon as you can. If wala pa kayong budget for NCLEX, of course, pwede kayo mag-utang. If utang is not an option, you can always go to other places po, other countries to get the money and try to apply for NCLEX there. Okay, so if you really want to come to the United States,
do something about it na while waiting, no? Yeah. So thank you very much, Nurse Juan. I really had so much fun with you. And is there anything that you would like to share to our audience? Any dose of content where we can watch your vlog, your Instagram?
Okay. So, I started po talaga sa YouTube, okay? So, most of my YouTube videos po are like helpful videos coming to the United States, mga reaction videos, mga steps-by-steps procedure, like visa interview, mga ganun. So, I have those po sa YouTube channel ko. Sa Facebook, I do also have din po, medyo kakastart ko lang sa Facebook kahit pa paano. So, there are videos po din doon sa pages ko, okay? But yung main ko talaga, if gusto nyo, is nasa YouTube account. I also have some TikTok accounts, and I am kinda like juggling both. Wala lang ako Instagram. Kung may Instagram man ako, hindi ko masyado nagagamit. So, wala masyado view. So, those three, they're TikTok, YouTube, and Facebook po.
So they just have to look for the nurse or Nurse Juan OFW. Nurse Juan OFW. Don't forget that. And thank you so much. I hope you will not get tired, bringing to us stories, sharing to us educations, learnings about living the life. Actually, not just living a life here, but living the life in the US. Kasi just recently, I watched his video and I love it. And the DIY, because you really have to have your own, as a matter of fact, kasi talagang mahal. 100% po yung labor dito. So, kung ang material is ganito, 100% or more pa yung ibabayad mo sa labor. Kaya, watch that video, you will learn a lot, and you will always be inspired.
Thank you for listening to Linguist Access Podcast. Please give us a review on iTunes, leave a comment, like, share, and subscribe. See you on the next episode.